Welcome back to my channel. We are in a completely different part of my house than you normally see. Welcome to my kitchen. We are going to be baking today because I really love baking and I'm pretty damn good at it. So I want to share me baking with you today. And no, it's definitely not because I ran out of other ideas of what to film. This is for another reason completely. No, it is kind of because I don't know what else to film. But I also have had this idea in my head for a while, and I just didn't know what I wanted to bake. But, I'm baking something for someone that I'm gonna see tomorrow, and he loves this. So we are making Snickerdoodle cookies today. And I will admit they are some pretty damn good Snickerdoodles. I did not come up with the recipe. Let me tell you who did come up with the recipe. This is, I found it online. Well, my sister did, but you know, whatever. This recipe is by sallysbakingaddiction.com. They're called soft and thick Snickerdoodles. And yes, they are. So, that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to be baking, and you can bake along. You can take this recipe. I will really try to remember to link it in the description box if you want to make it too. It is so freaking good. If you love Snickerdoodles, they are incredible. Another thing you should probably know is I am not going to be following this recipe exactly because I bake vegan and I also bake gluten-free. So those are two things that I just do for myself, and I won't go out and buy stuff like eggs to make cookies for someone else when I can make it just perfectly fine using fake eggs. So that is what I'm doing. I also don't measure exactly precisely, which really bothers some people, but I mean, it works out. Nobody has ever complained about my baking not being good. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, I think I have rambled on enough. I'm going to start baking. Alrighty, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be making what is called a flax egg in replacement to the real chicken egg that this recipe calls for. And that is basically taking flaxseed meal, the ground stuff, not flax seeds, but the meal, and mixing it with water, and it creates a really sticky, gooey thingy that replaces the egg in recipes. So, that is 1 tablespoon of ground flax seeds to 2 tablespoons of water. And that equals out to about 1 egg. This recipe does call for like an egg and an egg yolk. This is just what I've done for this, and it seems to work out fine. I'm gonna add like a little bit more, like another like half tablespoon or something to make up for that egg yolk. I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I don't measure super precisely. I just kind of eyeball a lot of stuff. So, we got our flax egg marinating. I like to let this sit for, I like to do that first and then just let it sit until I've done like the rest of the wet ingredients. It's supposed to sit for like 5 to 10 minutes, I think. I don't know, some recipes say 20 minutes. That's excessive, I mean. So I don't like to let it sit that long because I'm really lazy and impatient, so I just let it sit for like 5-ish minutes. While that is sitting, we are going to do the rest of the wet ingredients. So that is 1 cup of softened butter. I use vegan butter, obviously. Oh, also, preheat your oven to 375. That is the first thing you should do, because you don't want to forget until you have everything mixed up, and then you're like, oh fuck, I still have to sit around for 15 minutes when my fucking oven preheats. Speaking from personal experience here, if you could not tell. So, I got butter in there. Then it is 1 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Need more sugar, damn. I'm baking too much. Alright, that's about 1 cup, and then... See, this is what I'm saying, that I don't measure super precisely. That's about 1/3. And a lot of people really don't like how it stresses my family out to watch me bake. It's like, you need to measure precisely. Baking is an exact science. I'm like, no, it's not. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be, but it doesn't have to be, you know? Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then you're going to add your flax eggy. So you can see it's like gooey, see? It's gonna act as the like egg and binder in it. And it works perfectly well. I've used this in several different kinds of recipes. I really, really love it for cookies. That's my favorite. In cakes and more like liquid-y recipes, I prefer to use fake buttermilk. It's basically you take whatever plant milk you prefer. I like oat milk. And then you add vinegar to it. I add apple cider vinegar. And that creates like buttermilk. And that mixed with whatever baking soda or baking powder you use, that creates the lift in it. I prefer to use that for like pancakes. It's so good in brownies and cakes and stuff that's more of like a batter, not so much of a dough. I prefer fake buttermilk for. But flax egg is so good for cookies. So good. So, you have all of the wet ingredients in here. Then you blend it up. So, that is all mixed up in here. You can see all those little brown specks. Those are the flax seeds. You don't like taste them or anything at all in this. Literally, nobody really believes me that I make these vegan and gluten-free until they watch me baking it. Because otherwise they just think that it's normal cookies because it still tastes just as good. So, yeah. Anyway, enough of me talking about how good at baking I am. Let's move on to dry ingredients. So, this recipe says that you should mix up the dry ingredients in a separate bowl. I have yet to find a recipe that makes an actual difference. So, I'm just gonna pour all of them directly into this bowl because it doesn't fucking matter. So, first up, we need 3 cups of flour. So, gluten-free-ish. I say ish because I am gluten sensitive to white flour, but I can have whole wheat flour. So, I mix together, I do half parts 100% whole wheat flour and half of rice. I have white rice flour right now. Really any other kind of fake flour. Almond flour is really good. Tapioca is good. This is just what I have right now. So I like to do half and half because whole wheat flour is too dry on its own. It creates a very crumbly cookie texture. And fake, I'm just going to call it fake flour, gluten-free flour, is not enough. It doesn't have enough structure to it. So I do half and half of each of these and it works beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. And then 1.5 cups of rice flour. But like I said, you can use any non-grain flour that you want. They all work pretty damn similarly. We're doing 2 teaspoons of cream tartar, which is what makes Snickerdoodles Snickerdoodles. It is 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. The oven is preheated. And half a teaspoon of salt. And that is it for the dry stuff. Then you blend it all together. What do you know? The best part of baking vegan is you get to eat as much of the cookie dough as you want without being scared of getting salmonella. Flax seeds can't give you salmonella. Very important step in baking is to eat all the dough off the beaters. Here's what my dough looks like. It looks a little crumbly, but I've been testing it and it still sticks together just fine. So, dough is done. Then, the Snickerdoodle topping is already made from the last time I made Snickerdoodles. It's just cinnamon sugar. This recipe does have the proportions in it. I already have mine because I made too much last time. So, it all works out. Alrighty, so the recipe says to line your baking sheets with parchment paper or wax paper. I don't have those, so I just grease my pans a little bit, just in case the cookies stick. I've never had a problem with cookies sticking, even when the recipe calls for it to be greased and I don't. But yeah, to each their own. So, now, making the cookies. I like pretty small cookies. Some people like really big cookies. I prefer small ones. So, that's about as large as I make it. Now granted, I have big hands, so it might look like more. So make it into a little ball, dip it, roll it around in the cinnamon sugar, and then plop it on the baking sheet. And then repeat until you are out of dough, pretty much. If you like these videos, let me know what other thing you want to watch me baking. I would say that cookies and brownies are my specialty. Kind of famous in my family for my brownies. So I can do a video showing how to make those. Let me know, because I think these would be fun. Because I love baking, and I love filming. So, why not, you know? And obviously, if you have any other videos that you want to see me do other than baking stuff, let me know that too. That is our first beautiful batch of babies. I did not check how long these have to bake, and now my hands are covered in dough. Can I open this with my knuckle? I can. I am a genius. Yeah. How long do they bake for? 10 minutes. 10 minutes in the oven. Next batch. This recipe says that it makes 2 dozen? I have a feeling I'm gonna get 3-ish dozen out of this. We'll see. Let you know if that's any different. But I think it's just because they probably make bigger cookies than me. I don't know, I just like little ones. Oh, if you're wondering, that right there, that's the wall of One Direction pictures. Yeah. So, they're just chilling. Say hi. Say hi to the boys, everyone. I had someone come over a few weeks ago for the first time, and they had seen my video where I talked about that wall. My 10 random facts about me video. You should watch it. But yeah, they were like, I knew that this was here, but I didn't realize it was going to be so out in the open. It's like, that's my living room, basically. And, well, it faces my living room, so if you're sitting on my couch, they're just staring at you. Which I love, but to some people is somewhat disturbing. Not so much disturbing, but like nerve-wracking? Is that the right word? Let's say that. Basically, obviously you keep repeating this whole process until you are out of dough. I'll come back when those cookies are done. Show you what they look like when they're baked. Look at those beauties. Look at these. Look at those. Heaven on a fucking tray. Let them cool on the tray for a couple minutes so that they can kind of set down and harden a little bit, because they are very squishy right now. And if you try to get them off of the tray, they will just completely fall apart. Oh, everyone say hi to Diane. Hi guys. Yeah. I have to be taken away from this bowl because I've just been eating the dough this whole time. Okay. Now it's time to take your tiny little babies off the tray and have them graduate to, it should be a cooling rack, but I don't have a cooling rack, so I just put them on a giant cutting board to cool off. And you know, it works fine. I really want a cooling rack, but for some reason I can't find one anywhere. So, you know, you do what you have to, right? And then you just get to repeat the same process over and over and over again until everything's done. So, I'll be back when everything's done. Hi, I'm back. So, I was right, it made about 3.5 dozen cookies with the recipe, and they're beautiful. Like, look at that. That belongs in like a Snickerdoodle magazine. Like, just saying. So, that is it. After you go out and make this, that would be awesome. Like this video if you enjoyed it. I have no idea what this video is going to end up being like, because this is my first time doing anything even remotely similar to this. But if you want to see more like this, let me know. I love baking and I do it a lot, so it's pretty easy to just set up the camera in here and chat while I'm doing it. So thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoy it. Comment down below any other kind of videos that you want me to do. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. I upload new videos every Saturday. And that is about it. I will hopefully see you on the next one. Bye!